Court proceedings began today after months of competency hearings. Thanks for being with us at 4. I'm Ty Steele.
And I'm Andrea Flores. One big development in this case today, prosecutors saying they will not seek the death penalty against Dominguez. KCRA 3's Michelle Bandor is live at the Yolo County Courthouse right now. So Michelle, what happened at today's preliminary hearing?
Well, Andrea, really an emotional day for the family of one of the victims, Karim Abdul Najem. He was the second victim in the deadly stabbing spree here in Davis last spring. His family wore T-shirts with their son's photo on it. They heard some graphic details about their son's murder. Now, prosecutors have called nearly a dozen witnesses today at the preliminary hearing, all of them with the Davis Police Department, who laid out those 3 crime scenes that took place over several days, as we said, last April and May. Now, all the while, the defendant didn't show any emotion during today's testimony. Carlos Dominguez also has a new look, a new short haircut, and is clean shaven. If you recall, throughout his competency hearings, the former college student had an unkempt appearance with long, straggly hair hanging in his face. Now, today's testimony focused on the crime scene and evidence found. How on April 27th, police were called to Central Park in Davis, where they found 50-year-old David Breaux in a pool of blood on a bench on his Compassion Corner, and they found a 4-inch long double-bladed knife and a sheath near his body. And they also say 2 neighbors heard screaming and a scuffle in Sycamore Park on April 29th. One of those neighbors, a doctor, actually performed CPR on UC Davis student Karim Abdul Najem, who was riding his bike in the park that night.
He said that he was in his house, which is across the street from the park, and he had heard something going on in the park, similar to what the first witness had heard, something to the effect of, "Help me, help me." He went to his backyard, essentially got a closer look, and thought that he was looking at some sort of bicycle crash. He continued to the park, where he saw 2 individuals, one hunched over another, and he started to ask what was going on. And he could see that it looked like one person was attacking the other person. As he got nearer, he saw the individual who was hunched over get on a bike and begin to pedal away.
Well, that preliminary hearing is still going on right now, with testimony from a Davis police detective who actually interviewed Carlos Dominguez after they arrested him. And this proceedings today are supposed to go until about 4:30. Reporting live at the Yolo County Courthouse, Michelle Bandor, KCRA 3 News.
So interesting to get more insight into what actually happened. So, Michelle, what other testimony do we expect to hear, and how long will the hearing last?
Yes, we don't have a witness list as far as how many more witnesses that will testify. We are, wondering if the survivor, Kimberly Gilroy, will testify. Most likely not at a preliminary hearing, so as to not put her through having to testify twice if the judge does indeed find there is enough evidence for Dominguez to stand trial. Prosecutors tell us they have about 3 to 4 days worth of testimony, and that's about how long this preliminary hearing should take.
Michelle Bandor live for us in Woodland. Thank you for that update on the case, Michelle.